Mental health ni sebenarnya sangat penting and often overlooked despite more awareness and more acceptance, but still the stigma is still there, you know, and the mom guilt, I think for some of us, for me especially, never goes away.
Lean in on the offering of help. Kalau dapat sambut, that is a key part of that self-care. Yeah,
and boleh mengubat apa-apa isu mental because you suddenly don't feel so alone.
Kalau dari segi kesihatan mental, I think what is important kalau kita melalui kehilangan and then suatu kehilangan yang begitu besar yang kalau dalam kehidupan sesiapa pun mungkin cuma akan terjadi, ialah kalau sebut tentang ibu bapa, most likely you know 1-2 kali dalam kehidupan kita, ataupun kehilangan orang yang amat kita sayangi. Ia tak selalu berlaku dan ia akan satu impact yang amat-amat besar. So of course it's going to take time, and I think it's true, kita semua akan melalui perasaan kesedihan dan kehilangan ini dengan cara yang mungkin berbeza.
There are times I would still feel, like I shared before Raya, I felt like the realization hits again. Oh my God, I don't have parents anymore. And the kids says, oh, we're going back to KL, but like we don't have Tok Mama and Tok Papa is no longer there in Semenanjung. So
Hai, salam sejahtera dan selamat datang ke episod ke-59 Kita Family Podcast. Di podcast ini, kami akan membincangkan perihal yang berkaitan dengan makna serta kepentingan hidup bermasyarakat, menghargai keunikan serta kepelbagaian sesama kita dan meraihkan masyarakat yang berbilang agama, kaum, kepercayaan rupa dan juga keupayaan. Kita menghargai hidup secara inklusif yang mengambil kira keperluan segenap lapisan masyarakat, terutama bagi mereka yang kurang atau berkelainan upaya. Hai, nama saya Desiree dan bersama-sama saya di studio hari ini adalah Anit.
Hello, apa khabar?
Nori.
Hai, Assalamualaikum.
SK.
Apa khabar?
Dan di Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, Didi.
Hai, Assalamualaikum.
So terutama sekali hari ini sebelum kita mulakan perbincangan, kami sekeluarga di Kita Family Podcast mengucapkan takziah kepada Nori dan keluarganya atas pemergian Tun Abdullah Ahmad Badawi. Kami sama-samalah we feel your loss and we are with you, and we hope that you are and your family have found some peace now. And we know it's going to be a long process, but we are here for you and we love you.
We do. Terima kasih. Thank you guys. Ni kali pertama kita bersama-sama ya.
Yeah.
Especially untuk buat rakaman. It's been a bit of it's definitely been a journey. But thank you. Thank you. I did definitely feel that all of you, I mean, the 4 of you, but also the rest of the team ada bersama-sama lah kami pada waktu itu. Terima kasih saya ucapkan bagi pihak keluarga juga.
So with that in mind as well, we like to remind everyone that bulan 5, bulan Mei juga merupakan bulan kesedaran mental health, right? Kesihatan mental, which is acknowledged by United Nations for a whole month. In some countries it's a week. In the UK they celebrate it over a week. So we thought that we'd use this episode today to talk about the various things to do with mental health that I think we've also talked about it before, that kita ni bukan sahaja setakat ibu kepada anak-anak kami yang neurodivergent. Kami juga, we are children, we are siblings, we wear many hats. We've talked about it in our Women's Day episode. So, mental health ni sebenarnya sangat penting and often overlooked despite more awareness and more acceptance, but still the stigma is still there. And the mom guilt, I think for some of us, for me especially, never goes away. So let's talk about it a little bit, and I'm going to go to our kakak SK first, to tell us a bit on your thoughts about, I think we talked about transitioning, right, earlier before we started. So please share with us your thoughts.
So again, our condolences, and maybe in this context, kan, as we were saying, for kita family, we naturally had a break, not only to mourn together, but to share time together. And in transition, this is, I suppose, if you don't mind, Nori, a very actual scenario where reflections, emosi, all our feelings will be put to the front. Yeah? Kesedihan, keperluan, and just the grieving and the mourning is an experience, not only for, if I say myself as an individual, what more if we have our neurodivergent child or individuals who may have difficulty expressing the emotion. I would like to iterate that actually every individual, typical ataupun neurodivergent, will be able to feel. Yeah, that's very, very important. There is a lot of myth that because they are not able to communicate, cannot express, dia tak boleh ekspresikan emosinya, that they cannot feel. Now that, I think, is something we need to be very aware of. And we should look out for signs, maybe from simple like loss of sleep, loss of appetite, anything that is different. So as a carer, as an educator, as a parent, be more aware. Yeah, because as an individual, just to I wouldn't say it's about being Asian. Yeah, it's just about being an individual. Whether you're Western, Asian, emotions memang a bit difficult to express. We may not have the language, we may not have the words. So just be aware, be empathetic, be alert. Yeah, that emotions are difficult, and change of circumstance in any situation, yeah, that transition needs more empathy, needs more understanding, needs time. Yeah.
So if I could pull that back into the mental health part of it, right? So knowing that people communicate this in different ways and manners, right? So for example, those who are nonverbal, maybe you see it through their actions and all that. So maybe Kakak, if I could get you to elaborate a little bit on mental health, but I think often we overlook the children side of it, right? So like we always think that, okay, maybe adolescents or teenagers have mental health challenges, but children do as well, right?
Absolutely. Thank you for just pulling that out. Ya, sebenarnya sama ada anak-anak, from what age? In simple terms, maybe we can use how happy the child is. Yeah. If a young child who is not able to express in words, sometimes they just act up. Yeah, act up to, again, in our community, we often hear the word tantrum. Kan? They just cannot, dia tak dapat meluahkan lah. So what do? They act kan. Yeah? The action become a communication. As I mentioned, that same thing. Sakit perut is a physical. So there are physical ways of expressing an emotion, of discomfort, of grief, of pain. Yeah, not only physical. So the younger they are, I think look out more for the physical as opposed to the expressed emotion. Yeah. Then as each individual grow up, we pick up the language. We pick up the language of being to express what our feelings are, how well we feel or how unwell we feel, which contributes back to this word mental well-being. Physically, emotionally, these are both aspects of mental wellness or mental health.
So the reason why I asked this question is because baru sangat baru as soon as yesterday I realized that Hans was very upset that I was out the whole day. And previously, he used to probably act out tantrum, maybe bully kakak dekat rumah or something like that, or run outside to play with the dog. Tetapi sekarang ni, baru-baru ni, I see a drastic change where he is a bit more quiet. He is less mischievous. He was sit in a corner, and then there was one time he even cried when I left the house. And he's not yet 10. Kan? So I think it's very important that for me now, to start paying attention to these signs that, and because he sometimes doesn't have the words to communicate it, his actions are communicating that, hey mama, I miss you. Can you spend more time with me? But it's coming out in a different way. And he even presented with mild sore throat and a slight fever last night. So that's why I wanted to bring that up.
Kakak, can I just jump in, because I think there's so much misconception out there about mental health, and it's almost like neurodiversity equals mental health issues. Is that true?
I think the fact there is with neurodiversity, you are higher risk of stress, anxiety, those aspects of mental health. You are, because when you are different, as we all know, you either get more attention, right? Or you may get less attention. Either way. So that does contribute to a higher risk of having stress, anxiety and related mental health issue. But it's not directly the cause. Yeah, it doesn't mean that if you are neurodivergent, you have mental health issue. Yeah, it's not that direct correlation. However, the facts does say that you are at a higher risk.
Okay, so maybe we will go back to Anit now, and maybe you could share with us from your perspective, being a mom and the many hats that you wear in terms of mental health. If you have a story or something that you'd like to share about yourself.
Okay. I think we all of us spoke about this a lot earlier, about the fact that how our children pick up our vibes, right? And I know that for me, bila-bila saya rasa down atau murung, I notice especially my neurodivergent child will pick up on it. And there are times he will just come and put his head in my lap, or other times he will look at me, and if it is that bad, he will want to stay away. But then I notice then that's like, his schedule also goes a bit haywire, because he doesn't want to come and offload onto me or help me co-regulate his behavior. So that I have noticed to be true. But I've also noticed that he has become a little bit better now, because 10 years ago, bila saya kehilangan ibu saya secara terkejut, it was a very, very sudden thing. Dia memang murung, tapi dia nak jawapan apa akan jadi, bagaimana dia terjadi, and he went round asking. Tapi because he's verbal, dia nak jawapan itu. So I understood that from a neurodivergent brain, apa yang saya terangkan kepada dia tidak mencukupi. That pada masa yang pada masa sebelum kami pergi ke tempat pengkebumian tu, dia pergi tanya kepada kawan-kawan saya yang dia kenal, apa yang jadi, bagaimana ini terjadi, kenapa ia terjadi. Dia nak tahu. Dan lepas habis upacara itu, dia datang dan relate kepada saya apa yang dia telah tahu. And dia cakap, dia masuk dalam ambulance, dia bawa ke hospital, semua tu. So I was so stunned. Tapi lepas tu kawan-kawan saya yang hadir ada memberitahu saya bahawa dia ada datang untuk tanya apa yang terjadi, sebab ini adalah persoalan di dalam
minda dia.
Minda dia. Dia nak tahu. Tetapi sebab dia tidak pergi ke upacara itu, dia nak tahu apa yang terjadi. Sebab saya asyik cakap satu je. This is the last time Naniji is coming home, and after that you speak to her in your prayers and you will not see her again. Now, perhaps that was a very simplistic way of me saying that to him and to the other kids, tetapi dia nak tahu apa yang terjadi, bagaimana, di manakah next step dia, di manakah Naniji telah pun dibawa. That was his questions. Tetapi sekarang 10 years down the line, dia telah menghadiri upacara penggebian dan juga gone to the crematorium and all that, so he knows. And I think what surprised me was this year, maybe 2 months ago, when we lost a relative and a family member in Kluang, he insisted on going. He went forward to carry the casket tanpa ditegur. In fact, dia yang bawa adik dia to say, jom kita carry, sebab dia tengok ada yang lain juga nak lift the casket, dan dia membuat apa yang perlu dan tanya what is next, where are we going next, bagaimana, dan it became more clear to him apa yang telah pun terjadi dan apa yang untuk expect. Tetapi bukan semua akan react macam dia. So I tahu ada yang akan murung, ada yang memang akan I think go internal and seek answers internally and may not say it out. So those are the kind of people that I'm actually really, really concerned about, sebab mereka tidak dapat meluahkan perasaan dengan cara yang kami tahu. And that's why kakak is extremely important to tell us bagaimana kita perlu peka kepada these sort of children and this sort of neurodivergence to assist them in the understanding of what's going to happen, because sometimes that entire period goes to a blur, but selepas maybe 3 weeks, and that's why we are so grateful that Nori is back after 3 weeks, because that's when the loss really hits you.
Thank you for that reminder. Sebenarnya cerita family keluarga saya macam ni, and it's very good that you have made me reflect. My father-in-law passed away, I think now over 2 years ago. And masa itu sebenarnya anak-anak kami just go through the process of the funeral service, and it is much later. I'm talking about 2 years later, yang anak saya start to ask questions, and as we know, Joshua is high ability with very little support needs, but what it taught me is they need that processing time. And perhaps what I like to just say is for the parents, and Nori, I know this is still fresh, please give ourselves time to have our grieving, our time, and in my experience, not to worry that the children couldn't do it at the same time. Because I think we would love the family to be experiencing this grief moments together, perhaps, however, I think we allow our individual, whether typical or neurodivergent, their time to do the processing, to do the grieving. And it is not too late, because arwahnya masih ada. And one good, I think, cultural value that we Malaysian have is we do have the opportunity to visit the grave, to, commemorate and so forth.
Do a memorial.
Many different opportunities. We can revisit, and actually, I would highly recommend that it is visited intentionally as opposed to it has passed. Yeah. It will give time for the processing, for the reflection, and even make, like what you say, they want to know. They do want to know at their pace. At yang mana dia boleh sambut.
And I think the questions become different as they grow up.
Of course. Yes,
Right?
they do. They do.
They do become different as they grow up. So for me, I remember at that time, it was just the loss of the fact that every time they used to go back to my hometown, she would not be there in the house when she was a fixture. Tetapi sekarang, mereka ingin tahu lebih berkenaan personality dia, how she would react if this happened. Sampai ada sekali Niraf dan juga anak saya yang lain cakap, oh, do you think she would be proud of me? Sebab ini menjadi satu
Kenal.
satu achievement sebab okay, kepada kami we are parents kan, tetapi grandparents tu memang ada satu standard and status yang lain dalam
Special connection they have.
hati ke semua cucu-cucu mereka. So
keistimewaan for sure.
keistimewaan yang sangat luar biasa. So
Absolutely.
yes,
I think that's the word, luar biasa.
luar biasa. Yeah.
So if it's okay with you, Nori, we'll go to Didi first because I know she has some interesting sharings on this topic. When Didi lost her mum as well, not too long ago. To me, it seems like not too long ago.
Yeah.
So maybe Didi, could you share how it was with your two girls, because they are also both very different and process things very differently.
I did share in the episode where we talk about going through the storm. So I said that masa tu the hardest time of my life lah kan, sebab we took care of my mother being sick for about 4 years. So sebelum arwah mama meninggal pun, there's this what we call anticipatory grief. So kita macam dah rasa kehilangan. So sebab setahun sebelum mama pass away pun mama dah bedridden, and then she started losing her ability to speak. So kita dah lama sebelum mama meninggal pun slowly kehilangan mama kan. Dan kepada anak-anak juga, they were aware lah keadaan untuk mama dia macam mana at that time. And bila pass away pun, I had to choose the right way and time to tell them rather than panggil the two girls to be with the rest of the families when my mama was passing tau. Sebab kan masa tu the emotion was very high, semua orang menangis, semua orang, kan final moment of mama's life. So I took a decision to let the girls be. Memang masa tu pun they were in different rooms, so let them be. I didn't call them, but my brothers did call their kids lah to be around mama at that time. So because I know I couldn't handle, because it was already big thing for me, but I tak boleh handle emotion my kids. So after a while, lepas dah setengah jam, semua dah settle, medical assistant pun dah datang, sahkan kematian. So dah tenang lah dekat rumah. Cucu-cucu lain pun dah tak menangis. Then only I called them and I spoke to each of them and bagi tahulah that okay, untuk mama dah tak ada. But a few days before that, masa tu kita pun dah nampak the sign that she memang dah at the end of her life. Because somehow kita punya hospice, kita ada hospice nurse yang datang visit every month, and towards the end quite frequent lah. They were like concerned if mama was holding on to something, like kenapa she was like being sick for so long. And then we were like saying goodbyes to her, cakap okay mama, kami redha and minta maaf and everything. But I remembered like a couple of days before my mom passed, I asked Afia, my eldest daughter, I told her, Afia, Tok Mama is very, very sick and we think that she's dying. Can you please let her go? You can go see her. Masa tu my arwah mama memang dekat rumah kami lah. So the room was just next to Afia's room. So we told Afia, can you go and see her. Sebab Afia tak suka sangat masuk bilik Tok Mama tau. I think she also doesn't like them. Kan? Yeah, I cannot salahkan dia juga, but it's not easy thing lah to see Mama in that condition. So I told her, I think you have to let go. Can you let go of her? Kan? So she went to the room. She hold my mother's hand and she didn't say anything. And then she came out. And I asked her, so are you okay to let her go? And she just nodded. So that was like a big thing lah for us to involve her in that process. Although we're not saying that macam Mama finally passed away because she let go, but it's just part of the process. It was really hard. But of course, after that, after Mama passed, immediately, I think just 2 days after Mama passed, I let the girls have had extended school break and took them for little vacation. Not because we were happy, but I think it's important for us to redeem quality time that we had lost when we were busy taking care of Mama. And also, it's either like you go back to routine or you do something novelty so that you don't just like, stay in the empty house, the house without Mama and just dwell on the feeling, kan? So it was good for us, good for the kids to do something different. But of course, from time to time, we still talk about it. And because I always like reflect on what I feel and then check on their feelings, because I thought that having Mama being really sick for so long, so she had brain cancer, which was very aggressive. So I thought that because the first feeling was relief when she passed away, because of course sadness and relief that she was no longer in pain. And I thought that I would not be so sad, that sad, because Mama is not suffering anymore. But a week or two after, then only it hit me that my mother was really, really gone forever. So, and then I went to check on the girls, and like they also like share what they feel, and of course the two of them, they process things, and what they're feeling were also different in a way. So yeah, Kakak is right that we need to monitor what they're feeling, but at the same time, the thing about being stressed, being sad, being feeling all this grieving, it's not just about what is going on, but for our neurodivergent children, sometimes it's about dysregulation that is caused by other things like sensory, because if they don't move much, like what we just had few weeks ago, last week in fact, when one of my kids, not to name any, use too much gadgets, so she became dysregulated and became a bit moody. So I think it's very important to be aware of those aspects as well, their routine, what they eat, whether they get enough sleep, and also body physical movement as well, because those would trigger a bigger emotional response when we want things to, I'm not saying that like we want to process and like be not be good, like process and that's all. Okay, no, enough of this grieving phase. Because it comes and go. It's still like, even until now, like there are times I would still feel, like I shared, like before Raya, I felt like the realization hits again. Oh my God, I don't have parents anymore, and the kids says, "Oh, we're going back to KL," but like we don't have Tok Mama and Tok Papa is no longer there in Semenanjung. So it's important to be aware of the feelings, of what caused the feeling, and also the body, what the body needs, because the last thing we want is for them to process when their body is not is in a dysregulated position. So yeah, I think that's what we have to consider as well.
Thank you, Didi. That was sorry if you had to relive what happened with your mom. I think we were all there with you, alongside you when that happened. So thanks for that share. We're going to go to Nori now, and Nori, we're very conscious and aware that this is very recent for you. So please only share what you feel you can, and we got you. We know we got you, right? So
yeah, it's I think by the time nanti episod ni akan keluar mungkin 3 minggu setelah pemergian rahimullah baba. So yeah, it's big. So I think in terms of the mental health part, I would like to say that throughout even 2024 lah, okay, sepanjang kita dah setahun lebih bersama-sama dapat merakamkan KFM, ya, kita family podcast bersama-sama. I think kita berlima pernah juga menyebut bahawa bila kita membuat podcast ni dan dapat bersama-sama, dan tujuan dia of course mungkin antara matlamat dia adalah untuk membantu individu, keluarga, ibu bapa, seperti kami juga. Kita pernah mengalami, kita sendiri tahu peranan kita dan pengalaman kita dan perjalanan kita. So apa sedikit sebanyak daripada pengalaman yang kita ada dan apa yang kita telah pelajari, kita nak berkongsi kan, agar insyaAllah mungkin dapat membantu orang yang lain. Of course nak tingkatkan kesedaran untuk tentang kehidupan individu-individu yang neurodivergent, yang OKU, berkelainan keupayaan and things like that, dengan harapan bahawa kita dapat bersama-sama, dan supaya tak ada siapa akan berasa seorangan, tersingkir, mungkin ataupun sunyi, right? So we want to remind people that they are not alone. So I want to say that I think even before my father passed, I've felt that it has been good for my mental health to be with all of you, and to share. So initially it seemed like, wow, this is really big, and then apa kena-mengena je benda ni kalau kita, and then cakap depan kamera, cakap bersama-sama dengan kita, tapi of course kamera ada, and things like that. But somehow because kita, sebab kita dah berazam, dah berniat untuk maybe cuba nak membantu orang lain sedikit sebanyak, alhamdulillah I would have to say secara peribadi memang dah membantu saya juga. So I think in a way hadir saya di sini pada hari ini adalah kerana kalau saya tengok pengalaman kami di kita family, even dalam keadaan di mana yelah ada sesuatu yang memang kita atau saya sedang hadapi, tahun 2024 terutamanya memang agak mencabar untuk anak saya Timur, kan dia mengalami cabaran dari segi I mean so many different things lah, right? Dia sedang melalui proses peremajaan, puberty is very difficult. On top of that, kita telah mengenal pasti bahawa ada autistic burnout, dan kerana dia telah dah lama hidup dalam satu keadaan di mana stresnya tinggi, dan terlalu banyak perubahan telah berlaku pada dia. So 2024 pun was not an easy time. But what I have found is that in the sharing and being together with my sisters and also the larger community, itulah sebabnya kita di KFM sangat menekankan kepentingan hidup bermasyarakat. Untuk kita bersama-sama ada hubungan satu persahabatan sesama kita. And of course kalau kita sebut masyarakat ni pada dasarnya memang saling bergantung, right? It's not just about we're just friends and suka-suka and things like that. Basically masyarakat ni kita hidup bersama, we are together in community, and sometimes it's not based on the friendship. And of course masyarakat bukan ahli keluarga, tapi kenapa masyarakat ni penting? Kerana kita memang hidup bersama-sama saling memerlukan benda-benda antara kita ada peranan masing-masing. So sama ada kita sebut jiran ataupun communities di sekitar tempat kerja, bersekolah atau wherever else lah that we live our life. It's very important to know that you live with other people so that you are not alone. So I have a little bit of hope from that, I suppose, that it's just to come back and also you have been there for me, remind me not alone. And then maybe macam kakak sebutlah tadi pada awal permulaan rakaman hari ni kan, it is a real life scenario. So maybe kita boleh ada peluang untuk berbincang tentang keadaan yang memang benar-benar berlaku, benar-benar terjadi. So kalau dari segi kesihatan mental, I think what is important kalau kita melalui kehilangan, and then suatu kehilangan yang begitu besar, yang kalau dalam kehidupan sesiapa pun mungkin cuma akan terjadi, ialah kalau sebut tentang ibu bapa, most likely 1-2 kali dalam kehidupan kita, ataupun kehilangan orang yang amat kita sayangi. Ia tak selalu berlaku dan ia akan satu impact yang amat-amat besar. So of course it's going to take time, and I think it's true, kita semua akan melalui perasaan kesedihan dan kehilangan ini dengan cara yang mungkin berbeza dan memerlukan masa, different things. So maybe for somebody else this may be a little bit crazy. Why am I sitting here already talking to you all after this big loss, right? But I don't know. I'm hoping it will help. Maybe after that. I don't know how this. I also don't know how this recording pun tak tahulah apa nak jadi kan. I was thinking to myself, hari ni macam mana nak duduk kat sini tiba-tiba mungkin ni lepas ni teriak ke, nangis sampai tak boleh bercakap, tak tahu. I don't know. Or maybe it'll be okay. Right? Because again, you guys said you got me, and I think usually when we say we got each other, ni adalah suatu memang semangat lah. Semangat.
We got you.
Yeah. Daripada Kota Kinabalu pun I boleh rasa semangat, Didi. So don't worry. I do know that you're sending me all these vibes, and of course doa is the biggest thing. Doa is such a big gift. So I think before I forget, maybe just nak ambil kesempatan ni untuk mengucapkan terima kasih lah. Terima kasih sangat bagi pihak keluarga Nori. I think memandangkan bagaimana pengakhiran semuanya lah setelah dia meninggal, dan pada waktu-waktu daripada hospital pun, jenazah dibawa ke rumah, dan lepas itu kita mendapat berita suatu pengiktirafan, satu penghormatan, keistimewaan yang sangat besar akan diberikan pengebumian negara. It was a state funeral. That was, masya-Allah, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's something that we are also very grateful for. And because terjadinya begitu dan pergi ke Masjid Negara, dan ada peluang untuk ramai sesiapa pun boleh datang menziarah, dan kami pihak bagi keluarga pun kami mengambil keputusan bahawa siapa-siapa pun boleh datang. Kita tak ada nak mengasingkan waktu-waktu ziarah atau tempat-tempat yang tertentu dan sebagainya untuk mungkin orang-orang tertentu dan sebagainya. Kita buat semudah mungkin. It was as straightforward as possible. Anybody was welcome to come. And so many people came. Saya tak tahulah macam mana nak mengucapkan penghargaan, but to everybody, but thank you so much siapa yang telah menghantar mesej, telah meluahkan perasaan sendiri, telah menghantarkan ucapan takziah, apa-apa kenangan. All this has been, masya-Allah, it's been amazing. I mean, alhamdulillah for all those things. Bagi kami, bila kita mendengar dan dapat membaca dan melihat keadaan macam ni, sudah tentu memang kita tidak rasa sunyi. So kita, kesedihan tu biasanya sehingga orang melalui baru faham. But the one thing I have to say is, and which has been true even in the difficult times tahun 2024 macam mana pun, betapa susah rasanya sesuatu keadaan itu, saya tak berasa sunyi. And that's one way. I think that's at least one thing that's helpful.
Absolutely.
So macam tadi Didi sebut, kalau kita kena melalui satu proses yang memang dah sangat sukar, kalau boleh janganlah buat dalam keadaan bila kita tahu there's like another problem or there's even more that you have to deal with, right? So bila kita ada satu kita perasaan bahawa ada orang lain bersama-sama dengan kita, and in this sense memang masyarakat, I mean Masya Allah, cannot imagine that everybody was feeling the loss together with us, tapi memang kita rasa sangat terharu lah, sangat-sangat terharu, and then ada terasa terubatlah sikit, rasa kepiluan dan kesedihan yang kita alami sebagai keluarga. It helps, right?
Yes.
It helps. I think so. Yes, thank you, everybody. Okay, what do I want to talk about from the aspect of mental health and
Before you
coping
do
with
that,
our loss?
I do want to say this, Nori, and I say this with all sincerity because I was there when you lost your mom, and your dad handled it in such a way that he knew his duty to the country came first, and he went back to work as soon as possible, sebab kewajipannya untuk berkhidmat untuk negara sangat tinggi. So from all of us, I think we see that in you. And your berkhidmat untuk KFM is here. So thank you very much.
So that's not compared.
I just want to come and I'll give you a big hug.
Yes. And
Yes. So we just want to say we got you because we see you berkhidmat for us too. Thank you.
Nori,
That's so funny.
you handle everything with such grace, and it can't be easy. It was live streamed on many news channels, and you handled it with such grace, and we're just in awe of you. I'm sure I speak for all of us, right? We're such in awe of you, and I think on that note, we should take a short break, and when we come back, we will wrap it up with how
Then I can
community
talk about the
and mental health
bit
part.
and community.
Yeah, so
and
we'll
how
take a
we-
short
okay.
break, and we will be right
Yes, I
back.
appreciate the break. We can do a break.
Hai, selamat kembali ke episod ke-59 Kita Family Podcast. Hari ini kami membincangkan tentang pemergian Tun Abdullah Badawi, bapa kepada Nori, dan juga cerita-cerita daripada Kita Family Podcast on how we have all dealt with loss in our own way, dan juga kaitkan dengan kesihatan mental, kerana bulan ini, bulan Mei adalah bulan kesedaran kesihatan mental sedunia. So we're going to wrap it up a little bit on bringing it back to community. Di UK, mereka menyambut Minggu Kesedaran Kesihatan Mental dari 12 hingga 18 Mei, dan tahun ini tema mereka adalah community. And I think we've spoken about it many times in our podcast in various episodes, and even when we speak individually on the power of community and how community is so important to us as individuals and as carers to our neurodivergent children. So we're going to go back to Nori now, because I believe she has experienced that power of community recently in her loss, and I've heard the story, so I'm sure the rest of our community will want to hear those stories too. Over to you, Nori.
Okay. Thank you. And thank you for the break. So yeah, this is how we all try to look after our own mental health a little bit. No. Okay. I think, when you experience loss, I think there are moments where you do want to maybe be alone. And because masa kita rasa, yelah, bila kita dalam kesedihan dan kita murung kan, kita kadang-kadang memang kita nak bersendirian, kita nak duduk dalam keadaan yang sunyi dengan secara sengaja, sebab kita memang tak nak jumpa dengan sesiapa.
And that's
kita
okay.
memang, that's okay. I think that's okay. to an extent.
Not for long.
Not for
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
That's why we have community to call us up.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying, that's why I think maybe kita nak menyebut lah perkara ni. Bukan nak kata itu, I think Desiree menyebut bahawa it's okay. Kerana memang ini antara proses lah juga. Proses kita untuk, the transition untuk menghadapi realiti baru lah. Realiti baru dalam hidup kita, bahawa kita sedang sekarang ni mengalami suatu kehilangan yang sangat besar dan hidup kita akan berubah secara permanent, ya. Tak akan dapat kembali lagi kepada satu keadaan sebelum ini. Memang kita tak ada pilihan lain, ya. So antara perasaan-perasaan yang mungkin akan timbul, termasuk bahawa kita memang sebenarnya tak nak bersama-sama dengan orang lain pun. Ya. But I think it's very very important supaya kita tidak bersendirian. Dan kita jangan terlalu, mungkin jangan terbawa-bawa sangatlah dengan emosi kita, ya. So that's why community is also important. Satu, bukan sahaja dari aspek untuk menemani kita, untuk membuatkan kita rasa bahawa kita tidak berseorangan, tetapi kadang-kadang, especially if you talk about orang yang mungkin lebih rapat sikit, kawan, sahabat kita dan sebagainya, kita perlukan ada orang seperti ini juga. Sebab kalau ahli keluarga, kita semua sedang menghadapi kehilangan ni bersama. Semua orang tengah sangat sedih. So we try to look out for each other, of course, tapi we are all feeling that loss kan. Kalau sama adik-beradik, atau dengan kalau suami saya ke, atau my stepmom, we are all kalau ahli keluarga, memang kita sendiri semua sedang menghadapi pemergiannya. So we're going to look for support from people yang mungkin jauh sedikit lah, ataupun ada 1-8 layer away. They are feeling it also. They understand it, and then diorang inilah orang yang kita dapat gantung harap actually. So masa dalam minggu pertama tu, ataupun hari-hari pertama, I had friends. It's like they all lepas tu had like an emergency meeting. There was a separate WhatsApp group chat, and the decision was okay, kita semua akan take turns. Kita akan bergila-gila tengok siapa yang boleh make sure to check in on me, ada dekat masjid, ataupun ada tidak terlalu jauh dari rumah saya. Katalah saya SOS untuk apa-apa. Alhamdulillah tak perlu SOS untuk apa-apa, but it was really nice that they were all there, so thank you girls, thank you friends, you know who you are. Especially my bunch of close friends, kita dah memang kawan lama daripada zaman persekolahan dan sebagainya. Tapi ada juga memang sahabat yang lain. I have my friends from like our parents community. Immediately they said, anytime, maybe for example you want me to take Rafe, right, because dia baru umur 10 tahun, dan memang of course bagi dia semua ni akan berbeza lah daripada saya. Tapi kita tak nak anak-anak kita hidup dia berubah terlalu drastik, mungkin pada 1-2 hari, atau mungkin kita ambil cuti, mungkin tak perlu pergi sekolah sebagai contoh. Tapi kita tak nak rutin tu berubah secara mendadak dan terlalu lama sama anak kita, anak tipikal atau neurodivergent. This is not really good for children lah, although you want to give them space. So this was really a really nice offer, right? It's like, I hope you're okay. I know you are going to be family, all that. I'll take care of your kid, which is another an amazing thing. Dan dari jauh pun ada sahabat, sama-sama they were just sending food to the house, sending coffee. These are all maybe small things, but I think kita pun pernah menyebut, and I think all of you right, you've had that feeling where somebody just gives you something small. Sometimes it's even just a smile. Macam hari tadi pun kita break, in between there was a little joke, that just like, okay lah, we felt a bit of a sense of relief sebab rasa macam rakaman hari ni agak heavy kan. But sometimes it's just a small thing. So like that, you know, dropping off the coffee, I'll check on you so you know that, oh, I'm here kalau kita perlukan apa-apa. This is so important for your mental health. Untuk kesihatan mental kita, kita memang memerlukan sokongan. Kita memerlukan sokongan emosi dan sokongan mental daripada, you know, sesiapalah yang dapat berikan benda tu kepada kita. Because we're talking about that aspect of our body, right? So if it's a physical health thing, if it's, you know, dalam keadaan, you know, sakit apa tertentu, ada keperluan mungkin lain sedikit, tapi bila kita sebut tentang mental dan emosi dan seperti itu, itulah sokongan dan bantuan yang kita perlukan. So that's what it is that's needed. And sometimes benda tu tak semestinya datang dalam bentuk yang physical atau betul-betul di hadapan kita. Kalau orang you know, bertanya khabar ataupun adalah cara-cara untuk menunjukkan bahawa mereka pun you know, ingat pada kita, and they just, you know, want to show they care. So that's why, so for example before break dalam rakaman hari ni ada juga, you know, Nori sebut masa kita membaca message dan ucapan takziah, especially kalau ada siapa mempunyai kenangan peribadi atau cerita sendiri tentang baba, tentang arwah. It was nice. It was nice to hear those things, right? So mental health support can come in many forms. And I think it's good that, you know, again, you have to build this lah from before. Because dalam keadaan kita memerlukan, dan kalau benda tu tak ada, susah untuk kita dapatkan. Time tu baru nak mungkin cari, ataupun kita rasa bahawa apa yang kita lalui tu lagi besar.
Yes.
You know, lagi susah.
Betul.
So when you have it, that's when, you know, I think it's good. You can lean on it. You can count on it. And that's why I think it's so important to have community. So I think that tema daripada UK memang tepat. Ya, community memang boleh membantu kita. Dari segi kita punya overall well-being lah.
Betul.
Right? Overall well-being, and one of those like we've been talking about a lot is mental health. Okay. So one thing that I maybe want to touch on. Okay, this is Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This part is a little bit hard because ramai yang bertanya juga. How is Timur Abdullah coping with the loss of the older Abdullah? The answer is I don't know. And it is something, ia adalah sesuatu yang memang bagi Nori sekarang ni adalah, ini antara benda yang agak berat dalam hari-hari yang telah kita lalui. Kerana tadi, okay, sebagai contoh Didi tadi menyebut bahawa dia tak memberitahu Amy dan Alfia straight away masa Tok Mama meninggal. Didi mengambil keputusan yang bagi saya memang keputusan yang tepat untuk mengalami semua perasaan dan menjaga diri dia dulu. Ialah Amy dan Alfia selamat dan ada juga bersama, tidak jauh, tapi tak mengambil keputusan untuk bagi tahu diorang, and then suddenly maybe attention dan fokus terpaksa atau diperlukan ditujukan kepada Amy dan Alfia, right? But that's not actually the right time. It's actually to say goodbye to Tok Mama, and for Didi it's not Tok Mama, it's Mama. Di hospital, masa doktor kata inilah masanya untuk memanggil ahli keluarga datang, kita tidak bawa Timur ke hospital. Dia pun memang yelah, dalam setahun ni dia tidak berapa suka keluar dari rumah pun, cuma pergi ke tempat-tempat tertentu. Dan antara tempat yang dia suka pergi is rumah Tok Wan actually. Now I don't know whether this is, you know, your perancangan daripada Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. I appreciate it a lot that it happened. Swimming pool dekat rumah Tok Wan bocor dan rosak. Lebih kurang seminggu atau 10 hari sebelum Tok Wan pergi. So dah ada satu masa di mana kita terpaksa beritahu Timur sebenarnya, Timur look, kita ambil gambar dan tunjuk dia, swimming pool ni kosong, tak ada air. So tak dapatlah nak pergi rumah Tok Wan. So pada masa semua ni berlaku, dia dah memang tahu dia tak dapat pergi rumah Tok Wan, dan kita pun tak bawa dia pergi rumah Tok Wan, dan kita tak bawa dia pergi hospital. So Timur belum melalui satu proses di mana dia akan menghadapi keadaan tiadanya Tok Wan. Setakat ni atau sebelum ini, kalau dia pergi rumah Tok Wan adalah and tengok pada mood dia, kadang-kadang dia hi Tok Wan, ataupun tak sometimes, but Tok Wan is there sitting in the living room. Lepas bila Timur masuk dan lepas Timur dah habis swimming dan dia nak duduk makan, dia belum pulang ke rumah Tok Wan sejak kebelakangan ni. And we as a family, so Papa and I, we still have to think of how we're going to give him some closure. Apart from just kind of mentioning this. So it's been weighing down on me a lot, actually. Like, and I think I told the four of you, right? I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. I have not been able to, take him somewhere to show him something, like I think Anit suggested it's important to go to the makam, because you can say Tok Wan sekarang ada di sini. Right? So it's again, it's very physical, it's a visual thing. They need details, they need to understand as clearly as possible. So I know I spoke to some friends or our consultants and things like that. I think kita kena guna perkataan, language yang very direct, yang very simple dan yang very nyata. Kalau mungkin kita cakap dengan orang lain yang biasa-biasa, kita mungkin tak akan mengguna perkataan seperti itu sebab rasa terlalu direct. And it might feel a bit harsh, a bit heavy, right? But I think when you're speaking to somebody whose brain works in a more literal way and needs to understand things which are dari segi fakta, jelas, nyata, kita kena sebut, orang ni memang dah tak ada dan and you are not, it's true, you're not going to see them again. So, I had one friend who's also a consultant that reminded me of, things like that. So, kalau sebagai contoh, Timur pernah pergi ke kubur arwah Mama Nori, Tok Mama, my kids, the grandkids also call her Tok Mama. I cannot say that for my children actually, because Mama tak pernah jumpa my children. So the thing is, kalau Timur pergi ke sana, dia memang sebelum ni dia tak ada apa-apa perhubungan atau reality yang tertentu berkaitan dengan Tok Mama. Tok Mama memang tak pernah ada dalam kehidupan dia. So dia pergi tempat tu macam, kalau dia pergi ziarah sekali, it's like okay lah, kita tahu ini tempat Tok Mama. I don't know how much what he understands from that, tapi it's like that lah. Tapi kali ni lain kan? So not sure yet what to do. I guess I'm going to have to update, insyaAllah, nanti when it happens. And it is very important. I do believe it's really important that it happens in some form. But I am taking comfort lah, Kakak, that you said we can give it a bit of time. And that's what I've been told by everybody as well. So it is not a priority right now with everything that's going on with Timur to do this with him. It's not the most important thing now that he must be told everything.
Correct.
And inshallah, I really hope, I pray that that's true. I don't know, but I hope that's true, that it's not, maybe the right time is okay, that it's okay buat masa ni kita mengambil masa sedikit lah sebelum kita nak bagi tahu, jelaskan pada Timur. Having said that, this past few days kita pun tak berapa pasti what is kind of going on with him. He spoke about something going on physically. Perut dia has been unsettled. Bangun pagi macam mood off, nangis, and we don't know why. Just don't understand why. I don't know if it's connected, to be honest. So I'm not trying to say that it's definitely dia pun terasa kehilangan. Secara jujur memang saya tak tahu. But maybe I'm not sure. Or he's again feeling the vibes of everybody in the house. Mungkin. So I try my best not to go up to see him when I'm really down, right? And because things have been so difficult, it's like right now I almost have a ritual. Even before I go up to the room, I like say another short dua just to make sure things are okay. I hope he's fine. I hope we are happy to see each other. It sounds really strange, right? I mean, how many people have to say a prayer before they go into their son's room? But this is what our life has been like the last few months. That's what it is. But I think it helps. So yeah, my mental health's not going to be 100% very good until I think I resolve that issue, apart from my own grieving. Yeah, I have to figure that part out. So we have to do an update that, about how we're going to handle this from the perspective of Timo. But again, I'm getting support and input, I think from everybody else. So siapa-siapa mungkin kalau mendengar episod ni pernah mengalami satu keadaan yang sama, kalau ada cadangan, bolehlah share. Memang saya akan terima dengan hati terbuka. If you have any of your own thoughts and comments about this, think this is where we would appreciate hearing maybe some other opinions and some help also. So that's where we are. So maybe if I can just finish with please lean on community. Kalau kita dah ada, kita punya masyarakat, kawan, rakan taulan, jiran, siapa-siapalah yang memang kita dah kenal, make sure lah jalinkan hubungan yang baik, because kita tak tahu di mana satu keadaan yang kita memerlukan ataupun mungkin kita yang dapat memberikan apa-apa bantuan dan sokongan. It goes both ways, right? But it's a good feeling all around to know both that feeling kan, sebagai seseorang yang dapat memberi dan seorang yang menerima. So lean on community, because it has also helped me with like I said, I don't know, maybe I would feel worse about the Timo situation or really don't know what to do if I was sitting alone by myself. But yes, I'm also hoping for a little bit more support on that end as well. And the other thing is to also keep a check on everybody's mental health. It's okay, and it's okay. Again, to take care of yourself. It's all right, and let other people take care of you also. Let other people take care of you. Yes, thank you so much. If crepe comes, I'll be very happy again. Desiree likes to enter
mental
crepe.
note of
Yes, Desiree and Nara will send me crepe from time to time. This makes me very happy.
we hear you.
Probably not good for the physical health part, but okay.
So I think what Nori's trying to say is
Whatever helps.
Whatever helps. And for someone
For this moment
who
in time.
received news of a grandparent passing away when I was studying in the UK, I appreciated losing other closer family members in Malaysia because the feeling was so different. The community really comes together, and Malaysia really has this special bond at a time of grief, and you see neighbors.
We really do.
We do. We see
Funerals, people show up.
People you have not seen for years.
Yeah,
Even in families where generally people don't get along, and we know that happens a lot, but funerals is when everyone shows up.
Yes, everybody has to come.
Actually-
penghormatan terakhir, say goodbye, closure.
Yeah, Nori, just thank you so much for being bold to bear it with us, for us. A few things as you were speaking. The berdoa tu actually is so invaluable, and I'm reminded that Didi always reminds us to regulate first as a parent. And that doa tu actually
Doa is self-regulation.
is such
It's
an
priceless.
important,
in
in a way, almost native to us who have faith. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's true.
The other thing that
It's a really great tool.
the other that I hear from Nori is lean in. Lean in on the offering of help. Kalau dapat sambut, that is a key part of that self-care.
And boleh mengubat apa-apa mental, because you suddenly don't feel so alone.
Absolutely. But
exactly.
must-
To help and to give is also a way of helping yourself.
Absolutely. So that self-care, that self-care memang penting. And as much as we as parents, as individuals, would want to involve our children or other family members, I think the self-care is really key. And so it's okay not to be okay.
Yes, very true. Didi, any reflections on community and mental health and Nori's sharing?
When we talk about community, it comes also the perception of the society, kan? So I really hope that the stigma of getting mental health services would be lowered and come to zero, so that whoever needs it will go forward and get it rather than feeling embarrassed to get, seek help.
Absolutely. Thanks, Didi, for reminding us that. I think we can't be reminded often enough about that. We don't need the stigma on mental health.
Stop getting embarrassed about getting sick or needing help. It's
Exactly.
human. Everybody needs it.
And
We are all
and stop making people embarrassed. Sometimes like the comment that you get from people, that, please, like, be more empathetic and don't just give all this like sedap je mulut nak cakap kan.
and it's those statements sometimes you see lah on social media with keyboard warriors lah, ni mesti ada mental health issues. It's not something that you joke about. These are very serious issues that lead to very, very serious conditions. So let's be more conscious about what we say and who we say it to. Anyone else in the studio? Any final words for today's episode? No, we're all
I
good.
think the gratefulness for community.
Yes. Absolutely, yeah. So I just want to wrap up by firstly thanking Nori, especially for your very vulnerable and open sharing today. I'm sure it's appreciated by many, myself included.
Yep.
And
Very framing vulnerable, remember?
Yes.
We're trying to be authentic and real. Kononnya.
Absolutely, yes. We are reframing everything.
Yes.
We just want to be real. And I want to say something to Nori, I think from all of us, which is that Nori, you're doing the best that you can right now for Timo, for your family, and for yourself. So even if it happens in a day, in a week, or in a year, when you break the news to Timo, is when you break the news to Timo. And we got you. Your community is here for you. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So with that, thank you everyone for listening. Jangan lupa kami berada di laman social Facebook, TikTok dan Instagram. Please follow us, like us, share our videos on YouTube, and also we are on Spotify if you prefer to just listen and not see our pretty faces. So, terima kasih, and remember, if you need help, ask for help and lean onto community. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Assalamualaikum. Thank you.